This is your daily briefing. You're most welcome to it. Daily Mail to kick us off. I think this is actually Matt Law from the Telegraaf, but it really doesn't matter. Daniel Levy holds talks with betting experts over adopting a data-driven approach to signings at Tottenham after the successes at Brentford and Brighton. Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. The trouble with this is, call me a pedant, but he's not going to be talking to betting experts. They might work in the betting industry, but I doubt it, though. I think he's going to be talking directly to people at places like Scout and Opta, people that actually, crunch the numbers for us. And of course, every time with Tottenham, you get a little bit of, oh, right, that's interesting. It's counterbalanced by something else, and here's something else. Alistair Gold tells us that also I know a lot of talk about Lee Dykes at Brentford, and he's their director of football or equivalent as such. From what I understand, he's not a candidate being considered. Basic recruitment. If you want a job done properly and you don't have anybody, within the firm to do it, you go and across the street and you get the best guy you can. This guy's had success, and he's had massive success because Brentford are colossally underfunded compared to everybody else in the division. Then why is he not on the hit list? But who knows? But then why are we even discussing this? Daniel Levy taking advice. It's like a cat and a swimming pool, mutually exclusive. Shipwrecks of others be on marker in the storm, and one shipwreck in Daniel Levy's dim and distant past is, of course, Paul Mitchell. Came to Tottenham hot on the heels of Mauricio Pochettino. He was the guy who famously had his black box, data-driven guy. Gone on to have a tremendous career, but how did it go wrong at Spurs? How come, what went, what transpired? Well, Daniel Levy, cats, water, cats, swimming pool, Daniel Levy, somebody telling him what to do, who knew what they were doing, and the guy was put on gardening leave for 16 months. I'll just say that again, gardening leave for 16 months. It's the sort of thing you point to on your CV to prove how good you are. That's what that is. Okay, Fabrizio Romano, we're going to move into Arne Slot territory. We've kind of covered most of this, but it would be amiss of me not to, go through it. Arne Slot, really appreciated internally at Tottenham. Concrete chance at the job. I think we knew that. Spurs will have to pay a £6 million release clause to secure the Dutchman's services. Slot is planning to bring his coaching staff with him, and that's Marino Pusic and Sipka Hulshoff from Feyenoord. Which will lead to additional compensatory demands. Telegraaf, Arne Slot to have direct conversations with Feyenoord this week, understand the potential conditions where I can extricate himself from the Netherlands. His agent, Rafaela Pimenta, will meet with Dennis Te Kloese at Feyenoord to begin brokering Slot's exit. The thing that I picked up yesterday, and some of the comments I have to say that you left was superb, others not so superb, but that's the nature of the beast. But particularly there was one guy, Neil, who really went above and beyond, hit a home run, talked us through all the players, how little money Feyenoord had spent on these guys, and clearly with the right transfer side of the business being wrapped up and the right coaching side of the business wrapped up, and you see the results. The results speak for themselves, as the phrase goes, and they won the division. This sort of synergy between the two, you've got to ask, if you're a sane person, can that be repeated at Tottenham Hotspur? And I know I'm playing to the right audience here, but, is the guy who's in charge, the director, the CEO at Feyenoord, does he operate anywhere near in the same sort of sphere as Daniel Levy? I don't think he does. I don't know the guy from Feyenoord. I don't know him from Adam. Walk past him in the street, wouldn't know him. But we've got over 20 years worth of evidence with Daniel Levy. And I just wouldn't be confident that he has the same interests at heart that the chap at Feyenoord does. So that's a winning formula. I had a couple of Dutch people sort of saying, you're being negative about Arne Slot. No, not really. I don't know him, but I can see from the outside, and again, without watching Dutch football or claiming to be an expert, that, like I say, the synergy between him and the board there has really worked and really created something rather beautiful. But can it be replicated in Haringey and N17? I'm inclined to say with over 20 years worth of evidence? I don't think so. I hope it can, but I just don't think so. This is from Football 365. My thanks to Beadle on the Substack. I hadn't seen this. It's a truly sobering selection of Harry Kane stats, and there's a compelling argument here that he's wasting his time at Spurs. I spoke to Matt Letitia recently on the Substack, and he was a one-man, one-club deal. And he made an excellent point, which I hadn't weighed up because I'm all about winning trophies. That's where I am. I'm very old school, big silver stuff that you hold up above your head and scream and shout. None of this qualifying for Europe cobblers, the financial treadmill. And he made the point, a very human point, that it's down to what he feels right for him and his family. And I've got to say, I agree. But the evidence that it's a career that's being wasted. Erling Haaland, only player in Europe to have scored more goals than Harry Kane this season. Tottenham striker tied on 28 with Kylian Mbappe in Fenerbahce's Enner Valencia. Kane has so far attempted 121 shots, had more attempts on goal in 3 of the last 7 seasons. Of those shots, 51 have been on target, giving an accuracy rate of 42.1. And only Haaland beats him, accuracy rate of 52%. There's yards of this, there's yards of it, and none of it's good. Mo Salah, expected goal ratio roughly the same as Kane, 20.4, but the Liverpool striker has scored only 19 goals. He takes his chances, he shoots, he invariably scores. He's a different class. And what has Daniel Levy done to enhance that and to insulate him? Nothing, I would suggest. More Tottenham stuff here for you that doesn't reflect well. Spurs' iconic clock, the cockerel, you remember that from years gone by, set to return to the high street outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium after Haringey Council approved its comeback this month. The big clock, which dates back to the 1950s, currently housed within the stadium's west atrium after being restored to its former glory. And they're going to put it on a lamppost with slip-proof paint and all the rest of it. But it's a token gesture, and why is it happening in 2023? Why weren't the gates opened with all this stuff to give a sense of history and pride? And this leads me kind of onto, the Harry Kane statue. It's all so measly and so reluctant and so late in the day. And listen, all roads to me with this thing, the business, lead to money. And the bungle after bungle that Levy's got himself involved with, stadium sponsorship, a yawning missing piece of the puzzle. And again, this is a guy sat in his front room calling out a millionaire, multi-millionaire, with a degree in economics and land management from Cambridge, no less. But if the venue could be identified, if it could be tallied with some, tangible achievement, surely that would aid the cause. Oh, I went to see Beyonce the other night. That Spurs stadium's fantastic. I don't think people talk like that. I think people go to this thing and they think to themselves, oh, well, yeah, went there, yeah, it looked like a futuristic airport. Who wants their branding on that? I think Spurs have missed the boat. But, over to you, Todd. You tell us how it's done, eh? That's it for now. More as I get it. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.